Detective Comics presents Batman and Batgirl. Take that scarecrow down, now! Your little game has gone far enough. Batman in Freak Out at Phantom Hollow.
"3 centuries ago, this town killed me. Now I've come back to destroy the town and every living thing in it."
How do I fight the ghost of a witch? Well after midnight, as the Batman heads back to Gotham City from an official upstate mission. Batman, I want you. Captain Bill Wilcox. It's been years since you retired from Gotham's finest, moved up here, and became Constable of Phantom Hollow. It took plenty out of me, getting Commissioner Gordon to give me your return route. I need your help, Batman. All of Phantom Hollow needs your help. This is Phantom Hollow, a quiet haven where time seems to have stood still since the infamous hanging of its local witch almost 300 years ago, where on nights of the full moon, even enlightened townsfolk imagine they see the phantom that gave the town its name, Old Nell, who put a curse of silence on the church steeple bell and vowed it would only toll again to sound the town's death knell, a doom that 3 of its youthful inhabitants have unwittingly triggered off, or on the morning before the Batman entered the case.
They got it coming to them. If they want to be hairy freaks, why mess up here? This town is straight. That's the way we like it. Shh, here they come.
Let's be last into school, Shecky. The squares hassle us too much with their staring. And I dig Jamie. We gotta live with them, but we don't have to be them.
Get them! Drag them out of sight. After we clip them, they will be out of sight.
Moments after the surprise ambush.
That'll teach them. They don't like living like decent folks. Let them get.
While behind the concealing bushes. This is an evil town, just like old Nell said, Shecky. Sure is. Let's split this scene. No, that's what they want us to do, but it's our town as much as theirs. Got an idea, Shecky? We'll split this place, all right? Wide open. What? Oh, it's only Big Lanny. What are you doing here? Oh, just looking for me pruning shears. Where they be? You borrow 'em for hair clipping? Think he overheard us? Oh, what if he did? Big Lanny is Phantom Hollow's original freakout. Shortly before midnight. Time to freak out this backward town. Tough that Miss Antrim's got to get it too. Our teacher's the only decent square in Phantom Hollow. Midnight, and under the baleful glare of the full moon, sleeping Phantom Hollow wakes as if to a timeless alarm clock when...
The church bell? How could it be, Clarence? They gave up trying to fix it.
After old Nell got hung. It's like I've been telling you all along. Doomsday is here. While hidden across from Constable Wilcox's jailhouse. Now for our next freakout, Shecky. We got the things planted all over town, and we keep setting them off till they blow their minds. right on. What real damage can cherry bombs do? But as the prank switch is thrown... Hey, that wasn't supposed to happen. Let's cut out. We got a safe hiding place nobody'll find. Sometime later, as the Batman and Constable Wilcox survey the massive destruction. We don't have any of those weatherman crazies in this town, Batman. But I have a good hunch. Who?
Don't blame it on those hippie kids, Constable. I've been telling you and everyone for years not to take a witch's curse lightly.
You may be the town postmaster, Barney, but you ain't steamed open any mail to old Nell lately, so you don't rightly know.
He sure doesn't, and neither do you, Constable. But I do know Shecky and Jamie. I teach them, and they'd never.
Oh, wouldn't they, Claire Antrim? Those two eyesores have messed up more than one sale for me just being here.
You would say that, Mr. Congreve. All you know is real estate values, not human values.
Two more possible suspects. Barney, a superstitious mailman, town gossip, and yearning for a place in the sun. And Congreve, a greedy old buzzard who'd benefit from publicity that would put Phantom Hollow on the map. So, that's the tower where the phantom bell ringer pealed at midnight. I'm going to see it close up, Constable. Alone. And so, at the base of the steeple, the ghost hunter seeks a worldly answer to an unearthly phenomenon. Bare footprints in the centuries-old dust. Kid-size. Sure makes it look bad for Jamie and Shecky. Then, exerting all the power in his massive frame, can't budge the bell. It's probably rusted in place. Then, climbing up to the old bell loft, the rust, the cobwebs, all prove no human or ghostly hand ever swung this bell tonight. A glinting shaft of moonlight, and the Batman's ready eye spots a new clue. Didn't notice this before. A thin wire leading up to a loudspeaker. So that's the bell that pealed at midnight, probably connected to a tape recorder hidden somewhere below. A deduction not likely to be followed up, as suddenly, frantically grasping at the bell rope to break his fall, it is jerked up out of his reach. But they're inches from extinction. With a shock that knocks his breath out, the Batman's precipitous drop is abruptly halted. Nearby, as the Caped Crusader hangs helplessly stunned.
Whoever is behind this horrible hoax, it's not Jamie and Shecky. I'd stake my life on it. Must find them, talk with them.
But Claire Antrim's search is cut short as a blurred figure flees from the church and... Once more, an eerie silence reigns over the accursed terrain. Meanwhile, regaining his senses, the mysteriously suspended Batman reaches upward. My ounce of precaution paid off. I'd have been a fool to go up into that bell loft unprepared. So, I tied my bat rope to one ankle before going aloft and hooked it to the railing post when I got there to serve as an emergency line. After releasing the slipknot. Now, to pick up where I got hung up with the loudspeaker cord It might lead me to my unseen assailant or assailants. But the telltale trail is unexpectedly interrupted when stubbed my toe on something soft, yielding the schoolmarm, Claire Antrim.
Oh, it's you, the Batman. For a moment, I feared
That it was those two students you been defending?
you're like the other know-nothings in this town. Somehow, I'd hoped you'd be different.
Sorry I failed your high expectations, Miss Antrim, but I was almost killed just now by two helping hands that tripped me over a railing in the bell loft.
Both of which could have belonged to one very strong man.
Or, just as valid, Shecky and Jamie acting together, one hand apiece. This speaker cord may lead us to the guilty party. Better come along. I don't want you getting hurt again. Didn't think we'd have far to come. Leads down into some sort of cave.
This old hill is honeycombed with them, but I don't think you're going to find who you expect down there.
All I expect to find is a tape recorder with playback bell sounds. As for who rigged it, we'll find out later. But down here, I'm not risking your neck, so stay topside. Once again, the centuries-old silence is shattered.
Oh, no!
On second thought, maybe I will catch the guilty party red-handed down here. Found the tape recorder, but it's shut off. But that ringing bell, how? Then, breaking out from the surrounding blackness. It's him. Let's get out of here. Keep going, Shecky, no matter what. Claire, grab him. One of my suspects.
It's Shecky? How awful. Oh, what have they done to your hair? There's nothing to be afraid of, Shecky. One thing is obviously clear. Batman, these boys aren't guilty of ringing that bell just now.
Maybe not now, but listen, the bell. It stopped ringing, which leaves me only seconds to nab this bell ringer. I'll have to leave those two in your charge. Just missed him. The bell rope still swinging where he... Good Lord. How could he, or anyone, free that frozen bell mechanism? I couldn't ring it, but he did. Cracked loose the rust of centuries with a strength greater than mine. But was it rust that originally silenced it? Could it actually have been the curse of a wrongfully accused woman? As if in answer to his dilemma. A big blast in town. Is Phantom Hollow about to be destroyed? Moments later. Okay, fellas, let's level. Someone's stirring up that witch's brew down there, and it sure isn't Old Nell. I know you two set off the first knell of doom with that tape recording. So what if we did? They had it coming. Though still defiant, the duo fills Batman in. And then the jailhouse went up with a big bang. But we were only freaking out Constable Wilcox with cherry bombs. They shouldn't have caused. True. That destruction wasn't caused by firecrackers. Someone else added to it. Someone who learned of your mind-blowing scheme and got into the act, figuring to settle his own grudge, using you two as fall guys. Which is just what we're going to let him do. With you boys still at large, he'll feel free to make another move, which I aim to make his last. Keep them hidden in the cave, Miss Antrim, till I get back, as the caped crusader races back to town.
Do as he says, boys. Somehow, I have a feeling that the Batman is now on our side.
Maybe your side, Miss Antrim, but I figure the Batman is out to bust us. Abruptly, two hairy arms shoot out, sealing the entrance with a boulder.
Oh!
So, the Batman thinks my next move will be my last?
But Big Lanny?
Right. Big Lanny, town handyman, and idiot. I bided my time till you gave me the opening I needed. And now I'm sealing you all up forever. And then completing Old Nell's curse, the destruction of this town. And that goes for the Batman, if he gets in my way. You never explored this hillside like I did. And you never will once I drop this slab across this inner entrance. But I just did some fast exploring. Big Lanny. What? The Batman? How'd you find? Claire gave me the clue when she said this hill was honeycombed with caves. And it figured the real culprit knew this countryside inside out and was watching every move we made. So I suckered you into this move by leaving. Now, drop that slab. You bet I will. This way. Didn't even rock him. Solid like this hillside. So, you used the kids to lure me into a trap, huh? Well, the trap springs on the hunter, Batman. He is more powerful than I. Suddenly, two determined fellas launch a two-pronged attack. We've got to tip the odds, Shecky, in the Batman's favor. One leg apiece will do it, Jamie. Thanks, fellas. You gave me just the edge I needed. Later, the real threat to the village eliminated, with Big Lanny in custody. His cave pad, which I found by tracing the detonator cables which led to dynamite he planted around town. Big Lanny, town idiot, a put-on for probably the best red man in Phantom Hollow, and the most vengeful. His intensive research into ancient records uncovered the fact that he was a direct descendant of Nell Cabot, the unfortunate victim of yesterday's ignorance and superstition.
As are Jamie and Shecky, victims of today's ignorance and superstition.
The end.